Welcome to World of Monsters. I'm Monster Master Arthur, and this is Scariest Monsters. Yes, so welcome to this very first episode of the Scariest Monsters series. Basically, think of it like a Hall of Fame of the Scariest Monsters, where I will feature one monster per episode that I think is the scariest, in my opinion. Maybe not the scariest, but it fits into the Scariest Hall of Fame. So the monster that I'll be featuring today, the monster that I've been thinking ever since I first thought about this series when I first started the channel, which is the giant. Not just any giants. Here we'll be talking about the human giant. Yes, human or humanoid giants. And I'm not just talking 10, 15, or even 20 feet. I'm talking 30 feet. 15 meters, 20 meters, serious, freaky giants. And with the cool technology, the advanced technology that we have today, we get to see what we really couldn't see in the greatest of ways before in movies. And now we get to see like giants and cyclopses in these new fantasy movies, and they're doing a pretty nice job on them. Let me know which giant or movie featuring a giant is your favorite, and I'd love to discuss that movie someday in the future. So anyway, why do I put the giant as one of the first and the scariest? I don't know, just imagine. When I was young, when we lived in South Africa, we would be out camping, and I was, 5 years old, something like that, and I remember being in the tent. And you know about gorillas and lions, and gorillas aren't anywhere near in the wilds really in South Africa, but lions are and stuff like that. So anyway, I remember thinking at night when we were sleeping in a cabin or a tent, I don't even remember, but I remember hearing a kind of drum sound outside at night. And even to this day, like that memory still comes back when I go out and camp, in the middle of nowhere. You hear this drum sound, and for some odd reason, as a child, I imagined, like giants. It was giants coming or something along those lines. So it could have even been based off of a dream. Who knows? But ever since then, I've always considered, giants, that's a pretty freaky concept, especially, being humanoid and all, having those extended, larger features, huge, powerful brute strength, their eyesight, being able to catch you and see from far distances, the speed, just that sheer power. And usually when we think of giants, we think of stupid, which, still makes them scary because you can't level with them, you can't deal with them. But if they're intelligent, I think that's even more crazy scary. So just giants in general, that's a pretty freaky concept. Let me know what you think about it. Yeah, or imagine this, you're at home playing on your computer, doing whatever, browsing, watching TV, you're all alone and there's a thunderstorm, but it's daytime, it's one of those foggy, dim-lit days, and it's kind of, creepy outside, but it's nice and quiet. But then you hear a rumbling. Yes, rumbling, it's kind of like this introduction to kind of War of the Worlds or even The Mist by Stephen King, those movies. But okay, let's not get distracted here, but instead you hear a rumble outside and you hear thunder, and then you hear something trampling about outside. Heavy footsteps, just serious power. You look out the window and you see a gigantic, weird looking, right? Of course, it's going to be a little bit otherworldly, humanoid creature just standing right there and kind of surprised or something in this new surrounding, and then looking about, and once you pop out or they realize this is a house and there's inhabitants, they're going to be after you, or it's going to be after you. And that's pretty freaky. Where are you going to go? There's no tornado type shelter for this, so you better watch out. I wasn't going to mention any movies here, but the cool thing with, as I said, with new movies and stuff is, in the old days, giants used to be slow, or you'd see them in cartoons, things like that. Of course, the famous Mickey Mouse tying up the giant, excellent scene right there, but with the new Jack the Giant Slayer. And I wanted to mention that movie because obviously they did a great job. I mean, it's CGI, well, it's a mix of CGI and practical effects, but nonetheless, the giants are awesome in that, and that movie really showed the power of them. They're not that intelligent, but it showed the speed. And also the other, what is it, Perseus. One of the new movies with Perseus, with the Chimera in it too, that had the giants also. But what's impressive with those movies, or with those giants in those movies, it's that they're as fast as a human. They're not slowed down with the elevation or living on this planet. It's a different fantasy world. Science doesn't really apply, so these giants can leap, hundreds of feet, something like that, and run in high strides. Not like those old-fashioned giants where they'd be kind of slowed down and, kind of slow and bulky, and, you know what I mean? So I think that adds to the fear factor even more, and just the craziness and the kind of brute look they have. I don't want to use the word primitive, but you know what I mean, kind of just messy, missing teeth, and that kind of wild look. So we're not going to get deep into giant mythology at all here, but let it be known that basically legends of giants come from Abrahamic mythology, Celtic mythology, Greek and Roman mythology, as well as Hindu and Norse mythology, as well as many, many other places all over this world. Giants have a nice and rich history to them, just as dragons do, so it's really fascinating to dig deeper into that topic, I would think. So basically, I think I've covered enough why I think the giant belongs in the Great Hall of Fame. Now let's see what rating among the scariest, the most frightening. There's so many words for fear and being scared in English. Feared, fearful, frightened, fright, scared. Okay. Anyway, but let's see. So what level would I rate it on the 5? We'll give it 5. I was going to go with 1 through 10, just like my power level. 1 being a teddy bear, 5 being an animated teddy, basically an animatronic crazy teddy bear, like Five Nights at Freddy's. Anyway, or 10 being something shocking coming at you that you can't hide or run away from. So basically I canceled that because this is the Hall of Fame of the scariest creatures. So why would we be comparing with something like the teddy bear? We're starting at a level where you're already in fear. Okay, so I'm doing it 1 through 5. So 1, it's already something scary. There's no point in making this series and making the scale so long when none of the creatures in this series are actually going to be a 1, 2, 3, or a 5 on a scale like that. So we're going to go all the way only from 1 through 5. Okay, enough about that. So 1 being basically a spider, something tiny that, can't really hurt you, but you've got some phobia for it. 2 being something like a rat passing by, kind of a jump scare. Alright, so that kind of fear. Maybe there's not really any danger to it, but it kind of just surprises you. Maybe you've got some phobia going in with it, more combination. 3 being something like a lion, being out in the savannah and then you're face to face with a bear. That's some real fear. You see the wild, primal energy in the animal's eyes and you know your life is in danger. So it's not just fear of the visual or the shock, it's also that potential of danger. Don't worry, I won't be explaining each level so much in the future videos of this series. And 4 being an otherworldly kind of eerie feeling. So basically a glimpse of a ghost, maybe nothing too crazy, but seeing an alien in front of your bed, a doll's head twist all around, or somebody's. So we're starting to get to weird phenomena. And then number 5, of course, pushing that otherworldly, totally shocking, mind-blowing, something totally traumatic. I would say trauma could be from the 3, 4 to 5. Probably more from 4 to 5 with the stronger minded people. That's the scale. And the giant, what do I give the giant? I want to give the giant... I'm thinking the giant deserves true big giants. Almost like titans. But titans have more class, they're more godly. Anyway, I give the giant a 4. I'm actually gonna say a 4. I mean, that's otherworldly. Come on, to what we're used to. Okay, even if we're in the fantasy world and we're running around with swords and magic, still seeing a frickin' giant is pretty crazy. Especially if you're a child. That might invoke serious trauma for the rest of your life, seeing that giant. You might have a fear of large people for the rest of your life, or something silly, but that's a pretty serious thing, so I give it a 4. I think it deserves it. And I'm not talking about a 15-foot man or woman, something like that. I'm talking large or pretty big but kind of deformed. Just, that really different worldly feel. So I think it deserves a 4 on my scale. Let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you think I went too high? Do you think I went too low? Let me know what you think, and do you think this is a good candidate for the Hall of Fame of the Scariest Monsters? So that's it, folks. Let me know what creature you think deserves to be on the World of Monsters Scariest Monster Hall, not wall. Or should it be a wall? A wall of skulls. No. Hall. Deep, dark, bloody... Okay. Hall of Fame. What creature do you think should be on the WOM, W-O-M, World of Monsters, Scariest Monsters, Hall of Fame. Okay, I'm extending this too long. The more I see people vote for something, the more I'll grasp and check that one out, look into it, and see what I think. And, of course, it's going to be a mix of my opinion, but it's all together, it's a conversation, so... Until next time, make sure you left me a like if this was somewhat even worth your time or a little bit entertaining or educational. And do check out the rest of the channel. Go to the home page on YouTube, our YouTube page. We got a lot of awesome playlists that you'll probably miss out on if you just kind of watch the videos that connect with this one. Because there's a lot of different ones. So it's not really a pitch because it's just, there's a variety of videos. Okay, it is a pinch. Anyway, so if you haven't yet subscribed, check us out on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram doing stuff now, trying to update, and Snapchat, so we'll see how that goes. Until next time, this has been Monster Master Arthur! Monster Master Arthur.